What's up, everybody? Welcome to the final round. We're going to be recapping UFC 317 Topuria versus Oliveira, which just took place last night, June 28th. Before I start my real recap and the fight breakdowns, I'm just going to say, coming into this card, I was giving it shit. I was saying, no, it's not built properly. I just kind of threw a whole bunch of fights together, and in the breakdown, I said that multiple times. After the fact, this fight card was pretty damn good. I will admit that. It was shortened down to an 11 fight card, or 11 fights, due to one guy coming in 10 pounds overweight, but he was a short notice guy, so we'll give him credit. But other than that, it was a good ass fight card. I had the boys over at my place, made some good food, smoked sausage, burgers, chicken, buffalo dip. It was a good fucking time. Good fucking time. But let's get right into this breakdown. First fight of the night, we had Jonata Denise versus Alvin Hines. I had I picked Jonata Denise to win this fight, and I had him by first round KO. I'm going to say I'm not really impressed with how Denise looked in the fight. Alvin Hines, I will say, does have a pretty good chin on him. Denise kind of just pieced him up for the first for all the rounds because Alvin Hines was just marching forward like I thought he would. I thought he'd get KO'd, but he got hurt a couple times. Um, let me see. He didn't get knocked down at all. But in the third round, you kind of saw Janata tire a tiny bit, and that's when Alvin kind of started pushing the pace, and trying to land his shots. But it wasn't enough to get the victory, and Janata got a 3 round decision over Alvin Hines. Janata, I think, still early in his career, so we'll give him credit. Hopefully, he definitely gets better and evolves with heavyweight division. Really needs it. And then moving on, we had Jacoby Smith versus Nico Price. Jacoby came in as the biggest underdog, biggest favorite in UFC history, and he did not look like that, in my opinion. Got a second round submission over Nico Price. In that first round, I will admit, Jacoby kind of looked like he gassed a little bit trying to get the finish, and he almost had it. Didn't get it. Nico did land some decent strikes back on him. Sorry. But Jacoby was just, the more younger, more athletic and stronger guy, and it showed it in the takedown, showed it on the ground, and on the ground he was able just to lock up a submission and get the victory. What was it? What good submission? Was it the rear naked choke? That's right. So yeah, good victory by Jacoby Smith. Definitely not worth a minus 2100 or even a minus 1000. Vegas odds don't know what they're doing half the time, but definitely someone who could do well in this division, but we'll see. And moving on, we had Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borshev. Terrence McKinney, first round submission, kind of what I expected. Terrence McKinney, kind of a first round fighter, most dangerous fighter in the first round, who's not ranked, in my opinion. And Borshev, as we know, has zero ground game, even though he trains that team alpha male. So as soon as the fight started, Terrence shot a takedown, got him down, and then locked in I think it was an armbar or anaconda, and then switched it over to a mounted guillotine. And then I'll give credit all the credit to Borshev. He was fighting that thing. He was trying to get out. You saw his legs just shaking and trying to get out, but it was locked in deep. And yeah, Terrence looked good and got the submission early, so that was a good start to the prelims. And then in the next fight, we had Viviane Araújo versus Tracy Cortez. I picked Tracy Cortez by third round finish. She got the decision. Kind of on my part for picking that because I look back at her record and she really doesn't have finishes. She has mostly decisions, mostly all decisions. Viviani wasn't able to stop the takedowns. Got controlled and um, on the feet, kind of just got outstruck. So yeah, it was a good win by Tracy Cortez. They're definitely trying to leapfrog her up into the division again. I don't know if she'll beat anyone at the top, but she definitely looks like she's getting better. So we'll we'll see. And then we had Hydrogen Mill versus Jose Delgado. Um, I had Jose Delgado winning this fight. I picked him by KO. My other host, Jake, picked him Hyder Mill by second round DKO, and he was giving me shit like, "Why would you pick Jose? Hyder beat Gomi. Hyder beat William Gomi." Yeah, yeah, whatever. William Gomi ain't shit in my opinion, and it showed it in this fight. We didn't see much from Jose, not enough to say what kind of fighter he is, because his fight ended 26 seconds into the fight after Jose landed a massive knee in the clinch and it just dropped Hyder. And yeah, there's nothing else really to say. Good win by Jose. Got me money. And I just gotta say, Jake, do better. Do better. Um, moving on, we had Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. The Joker versus Robocop, or a foreigner versus Obama, because Obama killed another foreigner because Robocop murked Jack Hermanson at the end of the first round. And honestly, Jack was doing well in the fight, in my opinion. Gregory, I don't know if he has some type of like scar tissue similar to the Diaz brothers, where they just get cut easy and bleed, because he gets cut easily and he was bleeding from, well, he shouldn't have been bleeding in my opinion, but Jack was outlanding him at the end, near the end of the second round. Gregory leaped in forward, landed, I think it was a right hook on the chin, and Jack was immediately out, and then Gregory landed one more shot. That's Herb Dean's fault. So he just wanted to see Jack die, I guess. But it was a good win by Gregory. Um, Definitely needs improvement in my opinion. Um, Head movement or defense, because he does get hit a lot, and I think this is one big issue. But other than that, great win, great knockout. Um, yeah. And moving on to the main card, we had Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. I was picking Felipe Lima in this fight. Peyton Talbot ended up winning the fight by decision. I did bet Peyton by decision. I won some money, and I did have a parlay for the whole card that ended up hitting. So, but they got reduced significantly because the first fight of the night, the Jackson McVee fight, got canceled. So that screwed me from getting 1,000 or something. But whatever. But Peyton Talbot definitely, came in this fight looking more athletic, more stronger, more dominant. In that cage, he has an octagon presence that really shows. Like, he's very confident in that octagon, and Felipe Lima kind of showed negative fight IQ. Like, when he was doing the simple stuff like striking and just regular takedowns, he was having success. But when he was doing all that random shit, he was not. And that's what cost him. He just wasn't fighting smart. And Peyton Talbot definitely improved from that loss back in January and showed it in this fight. And hey, he's still a good prospect. And this was a good prospect versus prospect match. And I still think they meet each other down the line. So it was a good win by Peyton. Definitely back on track. Felipe Lima definitely will be back. He's still damn good. Definitely needs to leave Hamzat's team, old team, not a good team. But other than that, great fight. Just like the card. And then we had Benil Dariush versus Hamato Wakano. Benil Dariush got the win by unanimous decision, and I'm gonna say only due to Wakano kind of being stupid. In that first round, Wakano dropped Benil bad, bad, and right before it happened, I said, "Dude, Benil's looking sharp," and Benil got dropped bad. And after that, he didn't. He went for takedowns, and shooting takedowns and getting takedowns on a guy like Benil is a terrible decision, because Benil is a better wrestler and better on the ground than Hanato Nakano, and it showed it in this fight, because in the second round and in the third round, Benil just took him down and just kind of controlled him for majority of the rounds. And in the third round, it was 1-1 going to the third, and Wakano just, I don't know. negative fight IQ. Beneil got a good decision. It was good to see Beneil get a win again. Kept my parlay alive. So yeah, good win by Beneil. Hanato, I think he's just too busy now. He's not. It's not that he isn't wanting to win and not wanting to fight. It's just he's busy doing other stuff with the podcast and his new gym. It's just does he really have time? But yeah, great fight. Moving on, we've had Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. I'm gonna say this. I came into this saying Joshua Van is going to win this fight, and he did that. I will all credit to Brandon Royval. I think he is massively underrated and massively disrespected before this fight. I've always thought he was the most dangerous and chaotic guy in this division, and he was always capable of finishing anybody given the right shot. But against a better striker and boxer than a guy like Josh Van, I knew he wasn't going to have as good of a shot. I will say his jab was money in this fight. His jab was key and it was significant and it landed so well on Joshua Van. So coming into the first round, they were, both a bit hesitant, you know, kind of just picking their shots, trying to feel the rhythm. Josh definitely got the better of the striking, landing the better shots, kind of more patient, waiting for Brandon to come in and landing counter shot combos on Brandon. And it landed well, and Brandon kind of had trouble with that in the first round. But then going into the second round, that's when Brandon kind of picked up the pace, and you saw his jab. You saw how well it was working. He kept it right out there, right in Josh, to keep Josh, at a distance so he could land his shots. And he landed some decent shots on Josh, and Josh ate it well. And I'm surprised Josh ate those shots well because he ate 87 strikes in that round alone, in the second round alone. Fucking insane. And oh my god, going into the third round, it was tight. I had 1-1 going to the third round. Whoever scored the fight at 30-27, I judge should be fired. It wasn't 30-27, 29-28. But third round, as close as it can be. Both the guys pushing the pace, both guys pushing the pressure, landing their shots. Josh landing the more significant and damaging shots because you saw in Royval's face he had more damage, but Royval was still in there and pushing the pace and landed his shots and causing Josh to hesitate a bit and try and wait and be more patient. But literally end of the round, Josh landed a crisp overhand right that looks similar to what Max threw against Justin, and it dropped. It dropped Brandon, and Josh got right on top of him and started landing shots, but the round ended. So it was a perfect end to the round, a round that got him the victory. And I gotta speak clearly. Josh Van got the victory in a very, very exciting fight. Fight of the year contender, broke the flyweight was it flyweight record for most significant strikes landed in a fight. Both men in total landed. Brandon landed 216 strikes and Josh landed 209 strikes in total. That's insane. That is 425 strikes. Wow. These guys went to war. Josh Van showed that he is the real deal. He is that next number one contender. And I think, very similar to Ilya and Jack Della. He is this new type of MMA, this new generation of fighter coming up with these crisp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 type of combinations that really are new to this game because you kind of see people throw combinations, but it's mostly at most 1, 2, 3, 4. You never really see them really mix it up and go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's what Josh, Ilya, and Jack Della kind of do. And that's why they're having a lot of success. And similar to Jack Dilla, Josh has amazing takedown defense. He has really good takedown defense. And he showed the winner of the next fight gotta come see him next because he is the next number one contender. And Dana White did say he is paying Brandon Royval his win and show money for this fight. He deserved it, 100%. Brandon Royval deserves that. Both men deserved it. It was fight of the night. Amazing fight. Amazing fight. I cannot speak more highly about this fight. I'm going to rewatch this fight after I recap the next two fights because it's that good, in my opinion. But moving on to the co-main event of the evening, we had Alessandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Alessandre Pantoja got the win by rear naked choke in the third round. It kind of went similar. Kind of went exactly how I thought it was going to go. I thought Pantoja was just going to be a bit too much for Kai. I said in the Amir Albazi fight, in the Askar Askarov fight, Kai really focused more on the takedown defense, and that really didn't allow him to open up in the striking, and you saw that in this fight. But right off the bat, Pantoja pushed the pace and got Kai down immediately at the beginning of the round, and just kind of held him there for the whole round, just to, like, hey, I know what your game is. You got that kill shot, and that kill shot is most dangerous in this first round. So I'm just gonna get you to the ground, hold you there, make you work, get you more tired, and decrease the power in that kill shot. So, and that's exactly what he did. And then come the second round, Kai had a bit more success in the takedown defense, but no, overall he did get taken down. But Kai didn't really have much for Pantoja in this fight. Pantoja's pace and presence in that octagon, it has been, he's flipped a switch. And I don't know what it is. When he shaved his head before the Kaya Sakura fight, he flipped a switch. And he became a different type of fighter. Like in the Moreno fight, in the Royval fight, he was the cannibal. He was a monster. But he flipped a switch before the Kaya Sakura fight. And you've seen it in these last two fights where his presence in that octagon, all these flyweights he comes up against, they cannot handle it, and you have to kill this man to stop him. Because look at when he fought Figgy. Even Figgy, with all the power he had, could not finish Pantoja. He beat the fuck out of Pantoja, but he could not finish Pantoja. And yeah, that's what happened in this fight. Kai didn't open up enough in the striking, and that limited his ability to do anything. And come the third round, he just got taken down, and Pantoja's back game and BJJ games is so nasty that he got the back synced in the body lock, or the body lock, and got a rear naked choke. And Kai fought it for a good amount of time. He was fighting it, but overall he could not get away from the choke. So great fight paired by great win by Pantoja, and he's gonna be fighting Josh Van next. And I'm gonna do an early prediction video for that fight, but I'm gonna say right now, I'm not gonna say he was gonna win, but Josh Van can have a lot of success in that fight based off of what we saw last night from both guys. That's all I'm gonna say. It'll be a great fight, but I'm gonna say this: Josh Van was gonna be the one to finish Pantoja. I'm biased. I don't care what anybody says. He's gonna be the one. And then moving on to the main event, exactly what we thought was gonna happen happened. Ilya Topuria knocked Charles Oliveira out cold in the first round. And yeah, I mean, Charles was, holding the clinch, trying to push his pace, push his pressure onto Ilya and trying to force Ilya back. And Ilya was on the back foot a little bit, but he was having more success in the striking. And you saw he had the more damaging strikes, obviously. Um, and then 2 minutes and 27 seconds into that round, Ilya landed a crisp right hook right on the button that knocked Oliveira out cold. And then Ilya landed another hook on the way down, and then ground and pound, and they stopped the fight. And yeah, hold on, I'll show you. I'm gonna show you because I got it. Stand and bang, guys, stand and bang. Yeah, I'll show you. This is exactly what happened. It was. I'll explain after. Yeah, out cold. He was out cold, dude. Ilya is that guy. the first ever undefeated two-weight world champ. And the similarities between him and Connor is uncanny, I'm going to say. The exact pose he was finishing Charles in is the exact pose Connor was in after when he was finishing Jose on the ground. And it was against a Brazilian superstar both times. The tattoos, the aura, the confidence, the predictability of his fights. Dude, this dude is different. He's confident and he knows exactly what's gonna happen and he walks into that cage not worried, knowing it's gonna happen. And he said to Charles this week, I wish it didn't have to be you. Because he like him, he is a fan of Charles and we didn't want to see that happen to Charles and it was sad. It was sad. Um but Ilya got it done. Ilya's a two-weight world champ. Islam, honestly, in my opinion, was running from him. And I hope Jack Dilla knocks Islam out and sends him back down and we get Islam versus Ilya. Because that's still a massive fight. I still want to see Ilya fucking beat Islam Makhachev. Sorry, I'm getting text. Um, but no, Ilya's that guy, dude. And he's an evil man. He is an evil man. Knocking out Volk, Max, and Charles back to back to back is the most significant and most impressive three-fight knockout streak that I think people have ever seen in the UFC. There's probably some that come close for him, but what he's been able to do is insane. And I don't know if we'll see it again. But that's what we said about Connor. And Ilya's doing similar things. So yeah, a great win by Ilya. Honestly, it was a great card. I was very happy with the card. I would say one of the best cards of the year. 314 might edge it out. 3 314 and 316 and this card are my favorite cards of the year so far because 316 me and my buddy Jake, my co-host Jake, went to, so it's special. But no, this was a great card. So yeah, I'm glad we got to see it. But next week, no card. I'm gonna be making other videos. But stay tuned for in 2 weeks the Derek Lewis versus Towson Teixeira fight night. Then after that, we have the 318 Holloway versus Poirier. Poirier's last fight. UFC Fight Night Whitaker versus the Ritter. UFC Fight Night Albazi versus Tyra. UFC Fight Night Delize versus Fernandez, and then UFC 319 Duplessis versus Shmaev. Guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed 317 as much as I did, and I thank you all for watching. Leave a like, drop a comment, please subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.